I prefer to work with the details, so I'll share with you just a pro forma, and I'll use that to walk through the process, who is doing what, and basically what are the roles and responsibilities of the investor or the owner. So first of all, I kind of showed you why we are primarily focusing on rental investment properties, because time has some value that we cannot recoup by selling the properties after we purchase them. It requires the time, but there is some kind of incentive to hold properties for some years in these locations right now. So that's an incentive for holding real estate. One of the incentives, but yeah. So to your question, I'm just taking an example. I'm not necessarily going to speak about, the figures. I want to more concentrate about what we see here to talk about the process. Here is how it works. In our pro formas, there are always like two first lines that are the asking price and the max offer price. And this conveys that essentially the purchase price is a subject for inquiry. There is a seller, third-party seller, that is selling the property. Remember, we are providing a service. We are not the sellers of the property. So right. We are assisting with finding the property, doing like negotiation that's good in terms of interest. I mean, we are working for our investors' interest to get the properties that we can create the best opportunities, so to show off to other investors afterwards and really, provide a case for our value. But this would be always third-party sellers and not our properties. And that's important because, being consultant or being a guide, it's a problem to sell our inventory. And this is why we are not working with this model, to really serve as guides and unbiased consultant. So next line are renovation costs. To begin with, we will always provide with like a rough figure, just sending boots, some boots on the ground that we're working to view the property. I did more than 100 deals just in Northeast Ohio area. So when I get, from my boots on the ground, like the carpets are as such, broken window, the root floor maybe needs some cosmetic uplift, etc., etc. So I'm not immediately running to the contractor. I didn't do an home inspection yet, but I can roughly figure out what the renovation cost might be. So this is the initial assessment of the renovation needs.
Okay.
We are also factoring, this is something we're factoring post our inspection and due diligence, like renovation with optional or deferred items. Like we might see in the inspection, there is AC that is working, but is very old, so we will not ignore it. We say, you know what, we're not replacing the AC, but let's put here, I don't know, $2,000 to remove the existing AC, buy a new one, install it, because it might happen in the coming 2, 3, 5 years. So that's an example for items we might include here. Holding costs. These are like, just fixed budget costs for, the time period when the property is vacant and we are doing the renovations, and maybe the time until we find the tenant. And this is to account for, like electric, gas, dominion, etc. Just paying the utilities while the property is vacant. Project management. So this is the cost for the Nadlanir team for the service, for the project management services. And the model we are working with on the rental properties, remember, it depends on the deal strategy. When we are talking about rental property investing, we are working with a model that is, for one point, it's a fixed price model, and second, it's a result-based model. Do I need to explain what it means, or does it?
You can, go ahead.
Okay. So fixed price, it means like regardless of the property that you would choose to proceed with, like I'm sending you the pro forma and, we're having a call or, just you are asking me questions, Nir, why this deal? Can you help me with the comps? Just asking questions. Can you tell me a bit about the block, the area? So we're having this conversation and then you say, you know what, Nir, I'm choosing this property or that property. regardless of the property that you will choose, the amount is fixed. So this is the fixed model, meaning that we don't have interest in this or that deal. We are really presenting the deal that we think is the best, or the best deal at a given certain time point. And the result-based model means that we are starting off with a $500 cost to start the service. And I'm sending you deals that I prepare with this pro forma. And only if you choose to proceed with the deal and we're doing the due diligence, we're closing the deal, rehabbing if needs be, connecting to property management, and you have the lease contract with the property management, meaning you are starting to get your income, then we get the income ourselves for the work with the remaining $5,000. And in this sense, the model is like, is result, is based on results, and the result or the event is having the lease in place.
I understand.
Home inspection, just the cost of the home inspector. Let's say that you are asking me a question and saying, Nir, I like this deal. Let's proceed. Let's let's negotiate the seller. We're negotiating the seller, and I guess, it's like, it's really standard, acceptable to, in the contract, just put in the stipulation that the purchase offer is pending, or is contingent upon home inspection. So we have like 7 or 10 days time frame for the inspection. So what we are doing, we inspect, we send the inspector, and after that, maybe I can share with you a bit of the project management work behind the scenes. No need to worry about the details. I'm not going to get into the lines, just to explain the idea.